The emergency public broadcasting network goes live across America with the familiar long beeping noise. Seconds later, it's followed by a warning that the President of the United States of America is about to make an address to the American people. But a wealthy family of fine living in an affluent Texas community doesn't stick around to hear it. In fact, they've already been rushing around the house to gather last-minute essentials and shoving them into their family car. The family has paid hundreds of thousands of dollars into a survival subscription service of sorts, and that comes not just with a safe place to ride out the apocalypse, but up-to-the-minute updates on national and international disasters and crises. Their doomsday company has close ties with the U.S. military and intelligence apparatus, paying a premium for hot tips from intelligence leakers. Thanks to those tips, the family has been aware of the end of the world for a full 15 minutes before anyone else. They all have dedicated go bags filled with clothing, medicine, and other essentials. They're also allowed one additional bag for whatever else they might want to bring, but they need to act quick and fill that bag up within 5 minutes to make their strict schedule. Their survival shelter has already been pre-stashed with clothing and the specific medical and health essentials each family member needs, so there really isn't much left to grab except for sentimental items. Things like photo albums, important paperwork, and family heirlooms were stashed in their private bunker years ago. Even if the apocalypse never came, it was a handy place to store valuables. But the apocalypse has come, and the family is rushing out the door. They have a very strict timetable to keep if they're going to get to their shelter in time. The family has managed to wrangle one of the cats and the family dog. Yes, their shelter even comes with room for amenities for them, but the second cat is nowhere to be found. In the panic of the family prepping to leave, the poor thing got scared and ran to hide under a bed. There's no time to look for it. Mittens will have to ride out the apocalypse along with the rest of the poor people. Despite the youngest son's wailing tears, the family rips out of the driveway and heads along a very specific pre-planned route. The route will avoid major traffic traps expected to become even worse in the case of a disaster, and sticks to back roads as much as possible. The destination is a discreet airfield right at the very edge of town. The place is normally a tiny airport for local flight enthusiasts who can afford their own planes, but today it's salvation for this family. The route has been pre-planned down to the minute. If the family can't get to the airfield in exactly 17 minutes, their waiting ride will leave without them. They've been warned to take all measures necessary to reach their destination on time. This includes muscling other cars out of the road or even doing things like driving on sidewalks. There's a very real ticking clock on the survival of the human civilization. This is not the time to play nice. In case they get stopped by anyone, the father is armed with a .45 caliber firearm. Both he and his wife have been trained in its use by former U.S. Special Forces members. They've made it clear that nobody can prevent them from reaching that airfield. Use of the gun is up to his discretion. Tearing through the back roads, the family finally manages to make it to the airfield, and with not a moment to spare. Nuclear weapons have set travel time from any of the several likely launch points in either Russia or China, and the family is working by that timetable. The helicopter waiting for them already has its rotor spinning, and the moment the family is on board, it lifts into the air. Their car is left forgotten on the tarmac. The helicopter turns north and puts on a burst of speed. There's no radio on board, and the family has been told to ditch their cell phones. News of the outside world has no way of reaching them, and that's by design. Psychologists have determined that knowing what's going on can be detrimental to mental health, and it might lead one or more of the family members or even the pilots to do something drastic. Instead, the helicopter speeds north as the sun begins to set. An hour later, the helicopter is at last approaching its destination. It's right on time. Washington, D.C. and Seattle have already been obliterated by nuclear weapons. Portland and New York City went shortly after. Enemy nukes are targeting northern coastal cities first, but will shortly after make their way down into the heartland as they fly over the North Pole and south into America. By the time the chopper lands, Denver, Colorado has been hit. The family can even see the glow of the nuclear impact in the distant horizon as the helicopter lands. Moments later, there's a bright flash in the distance as 2 nuclear weapons impact American ICBM missile fields in Colorado. There's 2 men in body armor and camo uniforms waiting for them, both heavily armed. They shout at the family, "Go, go, go," as each panicked family member struggles to grab their bags. There's little time to waste, and the men are aggressive and pushy. The 2 pilots help by grabbing the kids' bags. The group runs together to a yawning door set into a thick cement structure. As soon as the soldiers, family, and pilots are all inside the doors, they're slammed shut. A giant mechanism turns and the doors seal with a loud metal clang. There's another set of doors for the group to go through. These are airtight and seal with a hiss as the family passes through. In the small chamber waiting for them are several showers. These are for decontamination in the case the family was late. Later, though, they'll serve to decontaminate the security teams who sweep the post-apocalyptic wasteland for threats to the complex. Passing by the showers, the family opens one final hatch to reveal a steep flight of stairs going down and an elevator. The complex is powered by diesel generators, but the stairs are a backup if the power goes out. For now, the group shuffles into the elevator and are greeted with pre-selected calming music. The first stop is for the pilots and security personnel. These are former former special operations soldiers hired by the company behind the shelter to secure the facility in case of apocalypse. In exchange, they've been given a place to stay in the shelter with their families. However, their quarters are separated from the family's private quarters a few floors beneath. In order for the elevator to even go down there, the father or mother have to put their eye up to a retinal scanner and speak a voice command. The computer analyzes the voice and eye scan and authenticates their identities, allowing the family to continue their trip down to the bowels of the earth. When the doors open up, they're greeted with a large, spacious open space. There are water features along the walls that fill the chamber with the soothing sound of running water. UV lights feed a variety of plants especially modified to thrive underground. The walls are painted off-white, a color psychologists have determined to be soothing in times of extreme duress. The chamber is a common area of sorts. Beyond it are 3 bedrooms, 2 for the children and 1 for the parents. There's also a large living and dining room where the family can take meals. There are windows throughout the complex, and each window is in fact an LCD screen that plays an image of a sunny day outside. Each screen is synced together and the weather will change naturally through a pre-programmed year-long cycle. The high-definition screens will bring the family simulated weather as if it was a real window. Yet another feature psychologists have determined will help reduce mental stress. Inside the bedrooms are large, luxurious beds. Flat-screen TVs hang from the walls and are wired directly into the complex's computer system, which has tens of thousands of movies, TV shows, and all other matter of electronic media to enjoy. Before arriving, the family was given a thorough psychological screening that included a long, exhaustive list of TV shows and movies. They were each asked to rate a show on a scale of 1 to 5, and using the aggregated data, the designers were able to build a digital library that should prove entertaining for the years it'll take for life to resume up top. The children have a massive closet that's filled to the brim with all matters of toys. In compartments built into the rock itself are more toys, those deemed suitable for older children. The kids will be able to enjoy appropriate entertainment options as they age up to 18, and only the parents have access to the storage compartments, so surprise can be maintained. There's even gift wrapping supplies for birthdays and holidays. Attached to each bedroom is a private bathroom. All the water in the facility is recycled, though the facility also has access to a very deep reservoir of groundwater. The reservoir has been carefully studied and mapped with ground-penetrating radar to ensure that in case of nuclear war, it would be resistant to contamination. To be on the safe side, though, the facility has a robust purification system to handle both recycled water and freshly pumped water from the reservoir, and a host of sensors will warn the occupants should radiation or contamination levels in the reservoir reach unsafe levels. The family won't have to ration water for a very, very long time, and the psychological comfort of long, hot baths or showers will help them weather the end of the world. Solid waste, though, is also recycled and used to fertilize a grow room full of crops that the complex will be eating. Family members of the security staff work the grow room, again in exchange for their place inside the bunker. Meat options, however, are very restricted. There's a huge walk-in freezer inside the kitchen that's stocked with huge supplies of flash-frozen meat, but it won't last forever. The designers of the Doomsday Bunker recommended that the family eat meat sparingly, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week. In this way, the family will actually experience a common American diet at the turn of the 20th century, before meat became universally affordable, thanks to cheap feed such as corn and sardines. There are 2 common areas, the living room and the entry chamber, designed to resemble a small botanical garden. The family has been given instructions on how to keep the garden alive, but there is one member on staff upstairs who happens to be a botanist. He'll be helpful not just in keeping the small grow room alive, but the plants around the complex as well, which are seen as a vital mood booster. When everyone's ready to return to the surface, he'll be responsible for making crops grow again with the aid of the small seed vault also included in the underground complex. The living room is decked out in ultra-plush but durable couches and chairs. There's also a very large big-screen TV here. It too connects directly to the complex's computer library. Along with movies and TV shows, the complex also has 2 of every major video game system going back to the PlayStation 2. There's one final room in the family's part of the bunker complex, and this one is secret even from the security and service staff above them. It's a panic room where the family can shelter in case the bunker is invaded or if the staff turn on them. The room also has an emergency exit that leads to a very long underground tunnel, which eventually makes its way to an alternative exit in a field several hundred meters away. The exit has been camouflaged to look like a small mound of grassy dirt. Precautions have been taken to keep the family safe, but the heavily armed security team of 12 above them could turn out to be just as big a threat to them as to any would-be invaders. For that reason, measures have been taken to provide the staff and their families a good level of comfort. Though paling in comparison to the luxury downstairs, the staff do enjoy private accommodations and multiple common areas. Starting a month after the bombs have fallen, the security staff will begin routine patrols of the surrounding countryside. Their job is to look for security threats like roving bands of raiders or people desperate for shelter. They are heavily armed, and the bunker is equipped with multiple heavy weapons. The squad of 12 would easily defend themselves even from a larger force from the safety of multiple fighting positions built around the complex. However, the security staff will also regularly listen for radio broadcasts to ascertain the fate of the world, if there's any functioning government left. If there is, they're equipped with long-range communications equipment to make contact and hopefully be rescued. Psychologists have spent a significant amount of time trying to figure out how to prevent the security staff from simply taking over the bunker and kicking the family out. Other than the radiation and nuclear bombs outside, the complex's own security staff may be the biggest threat to the family. With their wealth incinerated along with the rest of the world, there's little leverage the family has left over their staff anymore. Only human decency and cooperation will keep the staff from turning on them. But just in case that isn't enough, the father and mother have access to one last security measure. With the press of a button and a voice command, the bunker will go into lockdown mode, shutting everyone out of the family's quarters. The lockdown can even be tailored to specific rooms, in case the staff or invaders have forced their way into the family's floor. Then, the powerful ventilation system will begin to pump inert gas into the entire complex. The same system that'll quickly extinguish any fires should they arise can also be used to asphyxiate the entire complex if it poses a threat to the family. As the world burns above them, the family settles in for a nice night of microwave popcorn and Jim Carrey's The Mask. Now go watch insane ways people are preparing for doomsday, or click this other video instead.